A lot of times the world sees what's happening in the Middle East with opaque glasses. And if they would come here, it kind of helps you see more clearly the fight and the hope for a better future. What's happening here? I traveled 30 hours to be here. It would have been worth 300 hours because I'm with the people that have taken a 300 generation journey to be to this point and fighting for their future. It's been an amazing experience to sit and to listen to your experts and your leaders. I have already sent back my own video from my iPhone of your prime minister entering the room. There was excitement as the leaders of the different religions stood. Mm-hmm. And if you were in the room, and I hope people see that clip, I hope you show the clip, because we had very respected leaders from many different traditions standing and wanting to be in pictures and wanting to share the same stage, which is an amazing thing to experience, because you could tell that even though they were from different religions, your national leader made a very clear point for the benevolence mm-hmm. and of of coexistence, of benevolent, peaceful coexistence. And that was a very clear message. There's a message in some of my books. The dream needs to be stronger than the struggle. Uh-huh. And today was evidence that the struggle's been tough. And we heard some testimonies today of some of that struggle. And some people will have years to recover, but when you see what took place here, steps have been taken towards that. And coming from America, I think seeing this many people from America and from Europe also helps them to realize that they can come to your yard, they can come to your city, and they can enjoy the conversations with people of character. Well, part of the answer is already in what you've demonstrated here. You need to come to terms with what is beneficial for people to live in harmony. And this country is priding itself on doing that. And there are different religions, but I noticed that there was a common interest in understanding who the real enemy was of the religion. And in this case here, it was ISIS. Mm-hmm. And so there was a force that they could all agree upon that was all of their enemy. And they found that they needed to respect one another, but also for their own futures and for their grandchildren's futures, they needed to join. I imagine when you were fighting alongside of people that didn't believe in the same religion that you believed. And I believed you helped save some of their lives. And I believe that when people go to their churches, and I went to some yesterday here to see the beautiful city, and I think when people go to those, they'll find something in common, that you're helping people to understand the difference in those religions between noble and ignoble, between good and evil. And if the religion can do that, and you help children in the schools here, the school systems in England used an example that I had, a chart that helped them to understand when they read a story about your fighting, or they read a story about what took place here over the last 30 years or so especially, that they themselves could come to a conclusion of what is noble and what is not. And if you start listing all those things, you'll find things in common between the religions. And so that's when you talk about the dream needs to be stronger than the struggle, the dream has to be a noble dream. And that's the key. And if you can help all the schools, regardless of the religions, regardless of what you hear on TV from other countries about what's happening in other countries, if you can help your own schools to realize that in the religions, there are common things in humanity that are noble, and there's some that are not, and some that are good and some that are evil. I think it would be very positive for the United Nations to be here in a major way. I think that the United Nations should understand that even though you have many different peoples of religions living within the same borders, they are teaching people that hope has no boundaries. So the many religions within the same borders within Iraq, you're teaching the people, and the people of the UN should be watching, that hope has no boundaries. The whole time I've been here, I have been taking a lot of notes. And so I have a few book contracts right now. So I'm trying to finish other books. But I came here because the people that invited me, and people like Ambassador Brownback, are so highly respected. I thought something's happening special in Kurdistan, and I want to see it, because in order to report on it, the first hand is always helpful. And I've been interviewing a lot of people, so yes, I plan to write on it.